What's up guys, Justin here of Tech, and in just 4 months, Realme immediately released the successor to the Realme 6, which is this Realme 7. Now this is quite an interesting device as it packs some features that its Pro version lacks, one of which is the 90Hz refresh rate option. Now besides that, what else does the Realme 7 have to offer? Let's find out. Right from the get-go, the Realme 7 presents this luminous and chic design. The one we have is in the mist white color, but there's also a mist blue variant for a darker tone. Realme dubs this style as a mirror design, and it looks a lot like its big brother, the Realme 7 Pro. However, this has a little more heft than the Pro since it packs a slightly larger battery. We get a somehow reflective CD light effect when you move the device from different angles, and we think it's cool. Since our unit is in white, fingerprint smudges aren't much visible. More at the back, we get a vertically placed quad rear camera module as well as the Realme branding at the bottom part. Meanwhile, situated at the top left corner of the screen is a hole punch cutout for its front-facing camera and the call speaker. On the right side, we have the power button that also functions as the fingerprint scanner, and on the left side, we get the volume rocker and a triple card tray for 2 nano SIM cards and 1 micro SD card that's expandable up to 256GB. Nothing can be found on top, while at the bottom we get its primary microphone, loudspeaker, 3.5mm audio port, and a USB Type-C port. Onto the display, the Realme 7 sports a sizable 6.5-inch IPS screen with a resolution of 1080 by 2400 pixels and a pixel density of 405 pixels per inch. It also comes with a Corning Gorilla Glass protection as well as a pre-installed screen protector. So one of the selling points of this device is of course its 90Hz refresh rate. Despite having an IPS panel, its display still looks great with accurate and vibrant colors. We get good viewing angles, and the 90Hz refresh rate simply makes the experience more immersive. Under the display settings, you have the option to switch to 60Hz refresh rate or on auto select, so it will automatically select the best refresh rate for an app. You can also change the color mode to vivid or brilliant and turn on OSIE vision effect, which uses artificial intelligence to enhance colors and picture quality for supported apps. Additionally, you can also adjust the screen color temperature to cooler or warmer. If you're wondering, there's no option to hide the punch hole with a black bar, but you can control specific apps if you want them to maximize the full screen or not. Audio-wise, the Realme 7 doesn't have a dual speaker setup, but nonetheless the quality is good and it would suffice for casual use. We do recommend that you hook up your favorite wired earphones or an external speaker for a better listening experience. When it comes to software, the Realme 7 runs on Realme UI based on Android 10. And there's a lot to love about this interface besides the resemblance to stock Android. It's straightforward yet at the same time still highly customizable. It comes with an app drawer option, and you can opt to navigate with virtual buttons or with swipe gestures, whichever you prefer. The Realme 7 shares the same features with its Pro version, including dual mode music share, smart sidebar, riding mode, clone phone, private space, digital well-being, and dark mode to name a few. We also get some Realme tools and the usual pre-installed Google apps and some third-party apps such as Lazada, Agoda, WPS Office, and TikTok that you can always uninstall if you're not planning on using them. Weirdly, even if I set the location to the Philippines, there are also some Vietnamese apps pre-installed that you can still remove anyway. Out of the 128GB of internal storage, we get a usable 110GB, which you can further expand via a micro SD card. Talk about performance, powering the Realme 7 is a MediaTek Helio G95 octa-core chip paired with a Mali G76MC4 GPU and 8GB of RAM. We get improved performance compared to the Realme 6, and I must say that this configuration is competitive. Apps launch fast, multitasking is a breeze, and you can rely on it for playing graphically intensive games with some occasional hiccups when you use the highest gaming settings available. You can also take advantage of its headphone port and game space for a better experience. However, do note that I did experience some slight heating when playing heavy games for a long period of time, but it doesn't reach to an alarming hot so far. We'll flash the benchmark scores now, and if you've watched our Realme 7 Pro review, you'll probably notice that majority of the results that we got on the Realme 7 are noticeably higher compared to the ones we got on the Pro version. For biometrics and security, you can unlock the device via a side-mounted fingerprint scanner and face recognition. Both work snappy and accurately, and honestly, we think that placing the fingerprint scanner on the side is a more convenient way to unlock your phone as it is quick and easy to access. Talk about connectivity. The Realme 7 is packed with the usual features found in most smartphones today. That includes a Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 5.0, GPS, and 4G LTE. Moving on to battery, we get a whopping 5,000 mAh capacity, which is fair enough if you're a heavy user. Nonetheless, the battery can easily last you a day or two if you're a moderate user and don't use it much for gaming. In the PC Mark's Work 2.0 battery test, we yielded a score of 12 hours and 20 minutes. Meanwhile, in our standard video loop test, the Realme 7 got an impressive total of 25 hours and 6 minutes of playback. It also features 30 watts dark charge fast charging, and from 0%, it took us an hour and 12 minutes to fully charge to 100. Not bad. Alright, another selling point of the Realme 7 is its cameras. At the back, we get the same quad camera setup from its Pro version, consisting of a 64-megapixel Sony IMX682 primary sensor, an 8-megapixel ultra-wide, a 2-megapixel black and white, and a 2-megapixel macro lens. Meanwhile, for selfies, we have a 16-megapixel Sony IMX471 shooter. Quality-wise, we get almost the same rear camera's quality to the Realme 7 Pro, which provides accurate colors, decent dynamic range, and great amount of details, especially when you take advantage of the 64-megapixel lens. You can expect some depth effect when using the standard mode, and you can turn on the Dazzle AI color button to get more boosted colors. I wouldn't recommend that you always leave it on though, as it tends to overdo it sometimes. But I like that you can use this feature as well as the Pro mode even when using the 64-megapixel mode. Does that make sense? Anyways, you can really get high quality photos on this one. The wide angle mode can be handy to have, but it's a hit or miss when it comes to color reproduction. Oftentimes, it doesn't match the colors compared to the standard mode, but they mostly look fine on their own. As for night photography, similar to the Pro version, we were impressed. The results we got have lesser noise, good lighting, and noticeably sharp details. Additionally, you can now use Nightscape for the front camera, and even if it's not as good as its rear shooters, we still get great amount of details. One more thing is its starry mode feature that's really dedicated to capture shimmers in the sky. This is nice to have, but you'll need to use a tripod or any steady surface to get a shot, since it takes a serious 5 minutes to capture the perfect shot. I tried it but didn't get a nice shot because I was doing it handheld and there weren't many stars that night, so guys, learn from my mistake. As for selfies, we get high-quality outputs with vibrant colors and sharp details. There's some slight skin smoothing going on even when you're not using beauty mode, but it's fine. I do suggest taking more than one shot as some selfies can look pale. For videos, the device can shoot up to 4K at 30 frames per second and 1080p at 60 frames per second. The quality is pretty good. You can toggle from normal to ultra-wide and even to 5 times zoom in a single rolling. We also noticed some stabilization going on, which is good. So finally, let's talk about price. With an official tag of 14,990 pesos, the Realme 7 proves that it's one for gaming and a few more. Not only does it have that 90Hz refresh rate option, but it also packs highly competitive performance, generous RAM and storage, and a mega battery that you can fully charge within an hour or an hour and a half. The cameras are great too, and the display should be enough for users who aren't meticulous about getting an AMOLED panel. It's a package that I might even consider more than the Realme 7 Pro. But that's just me, guys. How about you? What do you think of this Realme 7? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like, subscribe to our channel for more content, hit that bell icon so you don't miss any future uploads, and be sure to visit yugatech.com for the latest tech news and reviews. Once again, this is Justin, and don't forget to wash your hands and stay at home.